Where we last left off in the last video, after, this video of what if Deku was a zombie, we had a few situations. Number one, we had it where UA found out about how Inco is technically ignored by the zombies, even with special infected. With also that, we also have found out about Eri and being saved with Overhaul's help, but sadly, Deku was there and devoured Overhaul. So, Deku also now has the quirk Overhaul. But not only that, he also has a copy fire quirk and a copycat quirk, where, allows him to copy quirks. So technically now, Deku can have the quirk permanently, depending on what it is. But sadly, he cannot have mutant type quirks. Not only that, we also have like an attack on another settlement that happened. So if you want to find any more about this, go check the last video and let's get into the what if. And also, before we actually get into the what if, this is just real fast, make sure you stick to the end because I have something important to say about future what ifs that I may or may not want to do. So that's all I have to say, and let's start the what if for real this time. Okay, where our story begins, we start of the point of view of Inco after 2 months have passed. Before the months have passed, we're going to go back in time for a few seconds to explain. So when Inco came to UA, things looked dire. A lot of things wasn't being grown there. A lot of food was not being made fast enough. So she kind of looked around and saw some people, suffering and ungood conditions. Don't blame UA though. Most of the time they would have to stop an uprising. Not because of like Nezu or anything, or if Nezu was doing anything bad. It's because some cocky people sometimes would be like, hey, let's overthrow and let's take over, practically like villains, if you want to go with that. But during this point, she realized UA kind of expanded outside of its fake training cities that people have been using now as actual cities this time. And it kind of built more walls, just in case, so the inner sanctum could be safe for people and such. She has noticed. But she has noticed there was a lot more children. A lot more on the outsides of the walls. They didn't look like they were playing. They looked like they were being used in a way. But she didn't pay no mind to it. So they keep walking until she reaches the inner wall. When she gets in there, it actually looks like a whole town and everything. It still has the same UA looking archers and everything. It's just there's more shops this time around. People selling things. But still, there was not a lot of people getting food. Some did look pretty sick, and others did still have some wounds. Because UA, even if they had Recovery Girl, could not take care of everybody every time. So they needed to find more doctors. And you might be asking, wait, it's been a while. How did they not find any more doctors? Well, after the hospital incident, people like UA did try to go to another hospital and save any doctors that were there, but every time Deku would always beat them to it and devour the people who were doctors. So then, because Deku playing it smart, he doesn't want the humans to get medical help. He also wants to affect them through the air. But anyway, that's not too important right now. So they make it to Nezu and they talk. And what they talk about is practically how Inco cannot be seen from the zombies. And Inco doesn't even know why either. She just says that when this whole thing started, she was scared at them at first, but when one got into her house because she made too much noise, it didn't even acknowledge her at all. It looked around for anything else, but once when it couldn't find anything else besides her, it left. And she just been hauling up after ever since because of the fact of this, and she wondered how, like, did it work on all of them. So she'd been collecting supplies over the time from this, and every time the zombies would always ignore her, never try to attack or bite her at all, even if she was in their face. Most of the time, even if they were blocking a doorway, they would purposely move out of the way and let her through, which she always found strange. So, since this is Izuku's mother, when All Might, told her, same thing with Nezu, she kind of burst into tears, knowing that her son is one of those things. But they did also, like, tell her that he ain't just one of them. He's the head honcho of all of them. He's the head zombie of all of them. So far that they think, but there's two of them, so they don't know which one is truly the head honcho of all these zombies. And again, she still cried for Izuku because she still had hope that he didn't die or get infected, because she believed that her baby, her baby, her son, you know, her child would still be alive out there somewhere. And she, since she found out the zombies ignored her, has been looking for Izuku ever since to try to find him, or to try to find, like, any whereabouts of where he could be. But her heart was broken to find out that her son was a zombie, and either the chance he was one of the head honchos, which in Inco Midoriya's mind, which would make sense why all the zombies ignored her. It's because of her own son. In her head, she's thinking, she's like, is he still there? Still there? Wondering if Deku or Izuku, if he was truly still, like, actually gone, or a piece of him was still in the zombie corpse of himself, his body. So anyway, this is when we go to the 2 months in the future. So ever past the last months, past these 2 months, Inco has been helping Yue find supplies and more. And at one point, she went to a hospital and got more medical supplies, since, all the zombies ignore her, until she found a group of doctors in a safe room. And, oh, you can see where I'm going with this. She recognizes one of them, and it's one of the doctors that, when Izuku was little, told him about how he was quirkless. And she's like, I know you. You're the doctor for Izuku, right? And he's like, oh, Inco Midoriya. Oh, yes, I remember you as well. And also in this timeline, the doctor actually did not work with All For One. Like he didn't know all. He did work with All For One. He just didn't know he was All For One. There you go. There's a reason why I'm doing this way. Believe me, you're gonna enjoy it. So during this, she helped the doctors escape, and get to UA, since they trusted her, until they saw some zombies, and she just pushed them in a room and held the door shut. And they were just like, lady, don't do this, you're gonna die. Because, they didn't know that the zombies, don't see Inco at all, or they don't even try to attack her at all. They just ignore her, or, like, let her through, or let her go wherever she wants. So When they heard the zombies go by, some of them were sad because they thought she died for them. But after a while, they hear the door open and they're like, and they saw her and they're like, wait, how did you're supposed to be dead? And she's like, I have a gift if you want to count it that way. And they were like, man, this lady's crazy. Oh my gosh. You know, a little bit like that. But this is when things happen. After they get the doctors back to UA, things change a little bit. Since the doctors have arrived, they could help more people in the settlement. And since the doctors are really good, and these aren't just regular old doctors, these are like doctors with quirks that can actually help Recovery Girl a lot. And there is a few quirkless doctors. Hey, if you saw what I did there, they're actually helping Recover Girl a lot, giving her a break. So we're having less and less more people being, sick. But because UA is a hero school, I doubt they actually have any green, a greenhouse. So after that, when she got them there, Nezu sent her off to another mission. But this time she was backed up with Toshinori, or All Might. All Might was told to stay back, but if anything bad happened, like another group of survivors, she will push a button that she had with her, and it will tell All Might to go to her and kind of summon him in, if you want to count it that way. So she found a greenhouse and found it, and it was like in pretty good condition, and it was like a setup one, one where you set it up yourself. So if you're wondering, it was in the box, it was in good condition, and it was not only one. There was, I'm gonna say, 4 of them. So she was about to contact All Might on the walkie-talkie and tell him there is 4 greenhouses here, until she sees Tetsu, like the one high school with all the hats with Cammy and them. I can't remember the name. If you guys can remember the name, comment it down below, because I am refuse to search it up later. But just tell me. So they were like, did you miss? And the reason why they're not hostile, they're still friends with UA. They're like more, friendly towards them. They're just not connected in this yet. So during this, they ask her if she can spare some of those, and she asks All Might, is it alright if we give this to this other hero high school that UA is good friends with? And All Might says yes, give them 2, and we just take 2. And return, she gives them 2, and she takes 2, and they leave. No conflict, because hey, there was more than one, and it's fair deal. They get 2, and she gets 2 for UA. So they get back into UA, and this is when they succeed. I know you guys are getting tired of me talking about how UA is getting set up, but there's a reason why. I just put that out there. So when she got back with All Might, they noticed the school got more heavier defenses now. Like, it has auto turrets that are miniguns and some rocket launcher ones, just in case for the mutated or the abominations they call the stronger zombies, just in case. So practically that's how it goes for a whole another 2 months, until we cut to Deku. So what has been Deku doing, you might be asking, and you might be wondering. Hopefully people like watching this series, because if they don't, I'm gonna be so sad. But anyway, so practically this is what Deku has been doing. He has been using Twice to make copies of himself and some of the special infected that he wants to be copied. Even made a copy of Nana Shimura as well, and Deku since the copy of Zombie Deku it's just like a regular zombie compared to our boy Deku, our boy Zombie Deku. So practically he sends off that horde to create a bigger distraction around like nearby UA and nearby an airport, which UA controls, by the way. Reasons they're trying to get a plane, fix up a plane and like make it so then we can so they can send people from here to America, because they found out that America is still safe. Like all the countries are still safe, but they want to send them to America. So then like for reasons, because if they send them to like China, there's a chance that zombies could be on the plane and like fall out and affect China. So the reason why they're sending it to the U.S. At least even if it takes longer, if the plane gets infected, the U.S. has more time to react to this anyway. So that's why. And also, even if it does and they crash, at least it ain't gonna affect any populated cities or anything. So practically, that is pretty smart. But anyway, so this is when things get interesting. So the people who were protecting the airport, we're gonna say, was some people from Class 1A, people from Class 1B. I ain't gonna say who, because if I do, it ain't gonna spoil anything. It's just I don't want to say it at this time who. I just kind of want to bring them in more as a where you just gonna guess who's there. But anyway, so practically they're there. Some teachers are there, like Flad King, obviously, and I'm gonna say Deadshot or Die or yeah, like the dude with the gun. And I'm gonna say Ectoplasm is also there. Some also, by the way, some people with support courses there trying to fix it, especially May, because May is big brain. She probably like did a lot of work on it anyway by herself. So right now they only have one plane available, and they're trying to work on a secondary plane. Right now that is slowly but steadily getting operational until the attack came. Everyone was on high alert, and they even told the campus of UA about this, and they're starting to send heavy hitters like All Might, and I'm gonna say Miracle, because I'm gonna say she was nearby that time. Endeavor ain't there. No wait, Endeavor. Oh yeah, Endeavor is there. Okay, good. Yeah, they also sent Endeavor, even though Todoroki's family doesn't want him to go because he's gonna die. But he has to, because he still has that heroic part of him. And in this timeline, Deku did eventually get him to change, even though the Oh wait, did he? Oh shit! I forgot. He died in the He died in the. Yeah, so he didn't even get the chance to meet Endeavor. I'm gonna say, since he met Todoroki actually got Endeavor to change a little bit. So Endeavor's more, nicer in this. Since because there's no point of like being the number one hero if everyone's dead, and if the whole world is in a zombie apocalypse. So he's not really caring about that right now. He's caring about his family and himself survival practically. So there you go. So that's the reason why. So they start rushing towards the airport, and the people in the airport are trying to fight off these dudes and stuff, and they just see a zombie mount lady just kick the door, like kick half of the airport like open to let more zombies in, and we have like people using their quirks against her, and like they finally hit her in the head and she dies, but they notice that she turns into black goop after she falls. After that, they just see like zombie present Mike attack, charging in and like using his quirk to disrupt them a little bit, make their ears bleed since he's already dead. His vocal cords, they're going full out, and like he makes a few people's heads just pop. That's simple, and they just fall dead onto the ground with no head until Snipe shoots President Mike in the head, and his body just turns into goop as well. So then they're seeing Zombie Nana Shimura coming in with a horde of zombies with her, rushing in with Deku no far behind, with more zombies and another zombie mount lady with more, throwing them over, and like they're falling, and even if they're dying they're still getting in and starting to attack like the support course. And so like some of the hero course people and some former police, I forgot there was police there, some former police there fighting off the zombies and like killing them, but there's so many of them they're slowly getting overwhelmed until All Might and Endeavor and Miracle shows up and like start fighting them off and actually helping the people like regain the airport. They were like about to lose it, so they're fighting them off. They're eventually pushing the zombies back, and until All Might sees Zombie Deku arrive, rushes towards All Might, punches All Might, and sends All Might flying. Endeavor and Miracle see this, and All Might tells them not to get distracted. Focus on the other zombies. Let him take care of take care of this zombie. And they agreed, and so they let All Might take care of the zombie. So All Might is fighting Deku. Well, Miracle is fighting Nana Shimura here. Nana Shimura and Miracle are actually going very decently good against each other. But if she doesn't get any help, she might be infected. Oh no, that would be bad for people who like their rapid wife. I'm sorry, I'll be serious now. But yes, it would be bad if she became a zombie. Endeavor is just torching the rest of the zombies, even like the zombie mount lady, until he notices it turns into goop again. And notices, so he still has that. That's annoying. So he starts burning and makes a wall of fire so hot that if the zombies try to run through, they just instantly turn to ash. So the zombies can't keep breaking in. So reinforcements arrive for Endeavor, and they clear out the last remaining zombies in the big area where planes take off. And also they do kill any zombies inside of the building if they broke through. Like they checked inside to make sure if any of them broke through. Luckily, none of the support course got infected, but sadly, 10% of former police got infected. 10% of just regular hero students got infected. Like not students, some regular or ex-pro heroes got infected, but luckily they got put to rest. And luckily, I'm gonna say, Chiro, Momoya Rosu. I'm gonna say that one Vine girl from Class 1B. If you know her name, please comment it down below. Thank you. And yes, I know it sounds weird. Monomon was there, and since they're in the zombie apocalypse, Class 1A and Class 1B, what would be the point of the rivalry if they're it'd be better if you don't die. He actually doesn't care about being better than Class 1A. He just cares about saving people at this point. And Tetsu. Kirishima, he's still back at the UA, but it's for reasons. I'm gonna say that. It's for reasons. So during this, they had to defend against this, but they still seen the fight between All Might and Miriko at this moment, and All Might's fighting Zombie Deku hard, and Miriko is about to lose until Endeavor shows up and backs her up and punches Nana Shimura, the zombie version, until they see her turn to goop, and it says this in the feminine voice, but pretend my voice becomes feminine for a few seconds, please. I ain't gonna try that. It's gonna sound weird. And she's like, you're not gonna win. You are all going to be infected. Just give up. And All Might heard that, and he was like, Master, what has happened to you? And until he sees fighting zombie Deku, and he's like, I heard her speak Midoriya. And Midoriya is still fighting because remember, it's a copy. Even if it was the real Midoriya, it ain't gonna stop. And until he finally holds down the copy version of Midoriya, and it's like angry. He looks angry. He's like kind of like mad because All Might's holding him down. He's like, it's kind of like going like this, like, kind of going like that until he stops for a minute, and then just looks up at All Might. He's like, All Might. And All Might's like, yes, it's me, Midoriya. So you are, and it's like, All Might, let go. I must infect. And All Might's like, what do you mean, Midoriya? Why do you need to infect? And he kind of squeezes Midoriya like so hard until he sees that it's not even the real Midoriya, because it starts turning into goop. And Midoriya starts laughing. He's like, you idiot. You idiot, All Might. I ain't even the original. The original right now has succeeded in what his plan was. And All Might's confused of what he means by this. And before like the copy Deku turns into full, goop, it says this. He says, All Might, I am still me, but I can't help it anymore. I must feed. I must keep sanity. I must consume. I cannot help it. So, even if I'm a copy, the original would probably say this too. All Might Cadaver is making so much sense. All Might's like, who's Cadaver? Who is he? And All Might's like saying that so much, and Izuku says, Cadaver is my quirk, and that's the last words All Might heard from Copy Deku, till it finally, fully, and completely turned into mush, dying again. This copy, at least. And All Might's in shock about this. That Izuku's quirk, his original quirk, has awoken, and it started all of this. It started everything. It started all this whole zombie apocalypse. All Might could not believe this. He couldn't. He wouldn't. But this is where we're gonna have to leave it off for now, folks. Comment down below if you want me to continue with this story. Bye-bye, or actually, not yet. Listen to what I have to say at the end of this. Take it away, future me. Okay, guys. If you got to the end and you did what I actually said, I got a few suggestions, and you can comment this down below if you agree, disagree with this, or you guys really want it. I want to make some what ifs. I want to make one where Deku's Ultron, but I also want to do one where it's about security breach, Five Nights at Freddy's. But the last one, I actually want you viewers to give me what if ideas. Like, make Deku Naruto, or Madara Uchiha, or from One Piece, like anything practically. Or even like give him like something from Star Wars, like be like a Jedi, or just something that you think I will have fun messing with, and you think I will do very well, of this Deku. So that's all I have to say, and if you made it to the end, thank you, and hopefully you liked and subscribed, and peace.